If you're in the B2B tech space and you haven't been living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard of Clay. If you aren't using them, you've probably seen them on LinkedIn or some other channel. They've basically taken over the sales, marketing, tech world. They have a valuation of 1.25 billion. They've got 30 million annual run rate. And they were started in 2017, so pretty impressive. The question that I want to ask today is, there's a million tech companies that are started in every single industry. What makes one rise to the top over all the other ones? Today, in the next 10 minutes, I'll break down their entire marketing strategy and give you a framework that's hopefully useful in your business as well, so you can copy Clay's similar strategy. So before we start, what even is Clay? Basically, it is an AI wrapper. That is the marketing or sort of buzzword, I guess, to describe them. They are a front end that connects all these data sources in the background. So you can get like mobile numbers, email addresses, first names, last names, companies, all the things that you would want for a lead. You can also connect to things like ChatGPT, you can prompt it, you can search the web. They have this thing called where you can do research automatically across contacts. So really, it's enriching, creating custom workflows, integrating with CRM, so things like Salesforce and HubSpot, for example, and then using AI to really understand your data set, your high value prospects, lead scoring, all that sort of stuff. Very strong foundation for really any B2B business because it's so focused on data and it's the easiest to use and honestly one of the best products I've ever used. So firstly, from a product perspective, they have a great product. That's always number one. But from a marketing standpoint, which is the focus of this video, the one thing that Clay really nailed was community-powered growth. So there's literally things called Claygencies because they harnessed the sales agency, marketing agency, lead generation agencies, and really got those guys, like myself, to just love the product, right? I replaced 6 people with Clay. Of course, I'm gonna love them. They've saved a whole bunch of money, time, everything's more efficient. So I promote them just like in this video. I don't get paid for it, but it's just natural, right? It's organic. So they really mastered the agency play. They realized agency owners usually promote and post content, and they leverage that. So now people do it for basically free. There is an affiliate program, which definitely helps. So if I refer a customer to Clay, you get a 20% rev share. So there is incentive as well. Their marketing really focused more on an educational ecosystem versus just raw promotion. So they had quite a big community. They still do have webinars that basically show strategies with Clay. They get people on to talk about what they're using and how they're using it. They have a really active Slack community, lots of customer success stories, obviously, and then educational resources within the platform to really help drive and upskill everyone to how to use it. So one example, instead of like promoting a feature like how to find emails with Clay or something, they would focus way more on outcomes and use cases. So they would have an educational video that says something like how to build cold email sequences that get 30% response rates with Clay, right? So like super driven on an outcome from a content perspective. And that's really what people use Clay for, is to get those types of outcomes from a sales standpoint, typically from a lead generation standpoint. So that really enabled them to go from selling software to selling results, right? So they were very focused on results. And obviously agencies like myself, we're also very focused on results. So the incentives and the deal structures and everything kind of aligned. They created very short, focused demos for specific use cases. Interactive templates is a thing. I see a lot of agencies as well using Clay as a lead magnet. So they'll say, hey, comment, Clay for this Clay table or this prompt. And it's, again, just free promotion for Clay the whole time. So really, this is just an idea of basically scale, right? So if you have 10 sales reps, you go and hire them. Now you have 10 sales reps, they do cold calls, emails, whatever, they're talking to people all day, but you only have 10. If you can just naturally evangelize people to go and talk about Clay like this right now, your name's gonna be everywhere. So that's what they did. They got people to just want to talk about their product. Obviously it comes from a very good product, that's number one, but then very smart marketing. They targeted the right people to promote their product essentially for free. Now let's break this down into a framework that you can implement into your business regardless of your size and resources. It's called the Clay framework. First one, is community catalysts. So instead of going out, building an audience from scratch, it's probably a preferential route to identify existing communities and influencers that already have the attention of your target market. So in Clay's case, it was the agencies. They're trying to sell to VPs of sales, founders, all this sort of stuff, right? You want to map that ecosystem, develop mutually beneficial relationships with them. So like the affiliate program where you promote the product, you use a link and you get a percentage of revenue. Systematically amplify their content when they mention you. So if I tag Clay, it would be great if Clay then also promoted it on their page, their company page. People within the business also do it, which they do a lot. They comment, they like, they do that a lot. The second is learning-centered content. So educational resources. This isn't groundbreaking. Clay just did it really, really well. You want to focus on teaching valuable skills that obviously relate to your product category. You want to create resources, high-value resources, regardless of whether someone buys the product or not. So they should be free, available, again, just free promotion. Position the product as an enabler and focus on the outcomes versus the actual software or the features. The third one is amplification through users. So you want to turn your users into a marketing team, which Clay has done the absolute best at that. First step, like I keep saying, have a killer product. Obviously, that's not rocket science. But once you have a user base who's willing to talk about you and promote you and sell you on your behalf, you want to document those user journeys. So success stories, how many leads were generated from X client, jumping on a call with someone, doing like a mini podcast or case study, whatever we want to call it, and then promoting the shit out of it, right? So Clay did this very, very well. People naturally tag them in posts on LinkedIn and YouTube, and they're doing educational and tutorials and all this stuff, right? So turning your users really into promoters of your product. And the last step was yield-focused demonstrations. So you want to make your product the star of the show. If you've ever seen one of these Clay videos, it's usually a screen share of the Clay product with a little bubble head down the bottom, and someone takes you through an exact workflow, a Clay table, a prompt, all this sort of stuff. So you're just constantly shown the UI, how it looks and how simple it is. And really the product is the star of the show for sure. The beauty of this Clay framework is it really is adaptable to any business and any marketing strategy, regardless of stage. So if you want to create a community, make learning-based content, amplify through your audience, and obviously yield high-value demonstrations, then that's applicable to any software business. You can do that in any software business. I think the two key takeaways is have to have a killer product, otherwise this will not work. And second is just find that audience that they may not actually be your direct ICP. They might be just a sub-segment of your ICP, but really find those people who are willing to promote. They already post content. There's a lot of customer profiles out there that don't post any content, or there's like 2 influencers in the space. If that's the case, this strategy may not work for you, but really finding like who's going to evangelize your product online at scale and sell it for you. If you found value in this breakdown, I do breakdowns like this on my YouTube channel quite frequently. I do go-to-market strategy tips. I'm building a business in public, so you get to see that entire journey. So you can follow me on LinkedIn, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.